Hello and welcome to Mickey Art. My name's Michelle Edhouse, and today I'm going to take you through the steps on how to create a image that is merged with itself to create a repeating pattern. Now, I am an artist and I create patterns for materials and things like that from photos of my work. So let's head in and create one. I'm working in Photoshop today. I use Photoshop CC, Creative Cloud, because I do video editing and all sorts of things. And I find that it works well for me. So I'm going to just create a custom piece which is 12 inches square and 300 dpi. 300 dpi is a good size for printing. When it is printed, then it comes out looking fabulous. If you're printing, you also want to go for CMYK. That is the best for printing. Whereas if you're working for screen work only, then go for the RGB. So here we go. Let's create that and get started. First of all, I'm going to bring in the image that I am going to be using today. And to do that, I'm going to go to File, Place Embedded, and then I'm going to find the image that I desire to use. And let me have a look here. We're going to go into here. And where is that image I had before? As you can see, I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different images I can be using. So I'm just going to find the one that I want. Where did it go, my lovely? Ah, I'll be back once I found it. Found it. Here it is here. So bring that in. Now this is an image that I took just on my Samsung S8 phone of one of my paintings. I'm just going to scale it down so that I've got room to move it in all directions. Because what we're going to want to do is have it create a repeat around it so that you can, what's that word? Blend them together and then be able to capture the blended repeat. So place that down by pressing enter, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into our layers panel. Let me just lift that up a bit for you. And we're going to duplicate that layer. And I like to do just name them so that I know where I'm working. Start off, I'm going to do 2 duplicates, one for the left and one for the right. And then these are sitting on top of each other because you've duplicated the layer, and you can just drag sideways. These little cool pink lines show up to guide you. And what you want to do is try and find where that will look good lined up together. One way to do that is actually to lower your opacity. and then you can sort of see how it overlaps. You do want a bit of overlap so that you can blend reasonably well. So I'm going to sit that one there, and bring that opacity on that one down a bit too, and move it that way. Actually, I'm going to stop there first. I'm going to work on the left piece first. Because what we can then do is we can capture that blend and put it on that side, because that's a lot more intelligent use of your time. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see, oh, wrong way, what we're doing. And what I'm going to try and do is, if you can see on this one over here, we've got that swirl happening, and I'm going to cut along that line and blend it through there. So first thing we need to do is we need to lock down our base one. Oh no, we don't want to lock that. Ignore me. We want to raster size both of our layers. There it is. Just bringing to your attention, guys, I am not a Photoshop professional. This is something I do. I've taught myself watching other people's videos, and something I do for my own use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a masking to both of those, and I'm going to work on the masking rather than using an eraser. Why do I use that? Because then you can undo 20 moves later, one move 20 moves ago. It's really good. So to use the masking tool, make sure that you're checked in the masking box of the layer that you're wanting rather than on the actual picture. Click in there, and then we're going to use the paintbrush. That's how you use the masking tool, and you either paint it white to keep it or black to take it away. So we want to switch our colors over to black, and I'm actually going to bring this layer to the front so we can see what happens underneath. So just going to take away, oops, now see, I'm painting on the picture, not on the mask. So I'm going to undo that with Control Z and click over into the mask, and then I'm going to paint that out, and see how that just disappears, doing exactly the same move as I did just before, but clicked into the mask rather than into the image. Alright, so there's that. I'm going to take out that bit of white there as well, and maybe take that a little bit there, and skim round a little bit there. I'm gonna just bring it down that big hard line there, because that would quite naturally be a line that could exist. Alright, let's bring that bottom layer's opacity up and see what we've got. Now quite quickly you can see we've already blended in quite considerably. It is looking good. And this one is actually not that hard to do. Down the bottom, just finish that off. Oh! Now this is something you've got to be careful of. If your overlap's not big enough and you start removing bits that don't have a piece, you're going to end up with what we just had there, which is a gap in your image. And that's actually okay, because I'm going to be bringing, when I flip it the other way, I'm going to be bringing that up underneath and covering that with what's coming up. But I'm going to undo it anyway. And just flick back over to white and just fill that in. Look at that. How easy was that? That actually looks quite cool. So there we have our two images. Now, actually, because I am flipping it, I'm doing an exact lineup. If you were offsetting your pattern so that you had sort of the left hand one halfway up, and then you would need to do more blending than if you are doing just a straight lift like this. So what I'm going to do next is just get rid of that right hand one, because we don't need them. Drop that in the trash. And the next step is just to zoom in and really look at that blend line. Let's go back over. Oops, undo that, Michelle. Make sure you're in the mask once again, and make sure you're on the right colour. Still on white, so painting it back in. There we go. Just softening that blend, just that little bit, making it more natural. I'm going to take that bit out. Now you'll notice I do actually, on my brush, I've got my hardness really, really light, so that it means that you get a, let me do it down here, you get a fuzzy edge, and that helps with the blending as well. If you harden it up, you end up with a nice hard line, which in some cases is great, and in this case is not what I'm after. I wobbled a bit there, so let's just unwobble it. Alright, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to save. Always save your work. Pop that under digitals. Example blend. Alright, so zoom back out again. I use Control minus and Control plus to zoom in and out. It makes life a lot easier. And now, because I'm happy with that, I'm actually going to merge those two together. Just make sure that that left one is at 100% opacity. Yes, it is. Cool. And so select the layers that you want to use, and then hit merge layers. Right click and hit merge layers. So then I'm going to move those to a more central position. And then I'm going to duplicate that layer. So right click again and hit duplicate. and put in top. And we're going to do exactly the same thing, but just by dragging this up here and working out where that's going to work. And you can take it out of the top and the bottom, so let's give that positioning a go. Bring ours in, and again we're going to add masking to both of those, and we are currently sitting with the top on top, so let's start rubbing that out, making sure that we are in the mask and we have black. And let's see what we can. Now I don't want to go too far up there, although that it pays to know what you're going to be revealing. If I reveal that big hard line and it cuts off at the top, that's not what I'm wanting to do, so undo that. And just sometimes, and there's that hard line happening again. Okay, so let's stay. Wow, that's really close. I'm going to bring that top layer down a bit more, and then go on. Actually, let's drop the opacity and see. So we've got an idea of what's happening under there. Just take out that hard join line for a start off. It's always a good place to start. And I might even soften my edges even a little bit more. Don't want that yellow. The other way, if you're finding that it's getting hard to get a soft line, let's just zoom in, is to make your brush bigger, and then your what are we doing? Oh, I'm in white. Make your brush bigger, and it makes a wider spread of your soft edges. Okay. And on this sort of image, you're not going to get a perfect result because they weren't designed to go together. And in some cases, you get a pretty good one, like this one. I'm liking this pretty much, actually. I'll bring that back down. To about there. And just pop that back. Okay, so let's have a squizzle along that line. It's just this bit here that probably could do with a little bit more. How far down does our image go? It only goes to there, so I don't want to get rid of all of that blue. But I do want to blend it out a bit more. Oops, wrong way. There we go. Just that line there is bugging me. Alright, so that looks pretty good. I don't need to go all the way across and redo parts because I only need a single section. So let's zoom back out. And that looks pretty good, really. So next thing that I need to do to capture the area is to make a selection. And what I usually do is find a point somewhere, let's say for example there, and then scoot across to that same point and down to that same point again. Just pick a point and work it, baby. So at that point I've roughly got a repeatable pattern. Obviously getting those dots lined up exactly pixel to pixel creates the best result. And then you just crop it and save it, and you're away. So that's how I create repeat patterns with a image that doesn't want to repeat. Alright guys, I'm super grateful to you all for watching, and how much more fun can you have with your day and with your images now that you have those bits of information. I hope this has helped, and I will see you on the flip side. Bye bye. How do I end it?